Hello friends, welcome to VinMee Education. Myself the master teacher of VinMee Education, Shri Nihar Ranjan Coach. So today we are going to start the first chapter of mathematics from CBSE class 9th. So what is it? It is number system. So before starting today's session, let me remind you, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Okay, so now let's get started. So in class 9 we are going to study about real numbers. So this is a flow chart that will explain you how real numbers are made. So let us get started. Real numbers are made from rational numbers and irrational numbers. The rational numbers and irrational numbers are combined to form the real numbers. That means when we look into real numbers, the real number constitutes of rational number and the irrational numbers. The irrational numbers are not made up of any other classifications and all, but the rational numbers are made up of different types of numbers. So now what are those? So the rational numbers are again made up of fractions and integers, and the integers are made up of negative integers and the whole numbers, and those whole numbers are made up of zero and natural numbers. And now let us study these all things separately. So now let's get started from natural numbers, the very basic one. Now you can see here that natural numbers are at the bottommost part. So natural numbers, so the natural numbers consist of all the counting numbers and they are denoted by n. Example 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and till infinite. So we start counting from 1. Yes or no? So when we go to a shop and when we ask for a pen, then we say give me one pen, or give me two pen, or give me three pen. We don't say any other things like give me 2 by 3 pens and all. Okay, so we start counting from 1. So that is why the natural numbers, as they are the counting numbers, they are started from 1. Okay, so let's get further. Then comes the whole numbers. The whole numbers are nothing, as you can see here, they are made up of 0 and the natural numbers. That means the whole numbers are just means above the natural numbers, and they constitutes 0, that is extra in them. Means the whole numbers consist of all the natural numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 till n, but they contain one more extra value, that is 0. And why they contain it? Because when we means say I have one pen and I give that pen to my friend, then how many pens are left with me? So we cannot explain that thing with counting numbers. So that is why we have introduced whole numbers, and that whole number contains one more extra value, that is 0. And so after that we can say that yes, after giving one pen to him, I am left with 0 pens. So 0 is extra in whole numbers. So then comes negative integer. As you can see here, the negative integers and the whole numbers, they combine to form the integers. Now we will actually, we know what are integers because we studied them in class 6, but we will have a quick revision. Integers comprises of the negative integers and the whole numbers. And what are whole numbers? We studied 0 to n. And the negative integers means the negative values of all the natural numbers. They are represented before 0 on the number line, that is on the left side. We know that 0 is in the middle, and on the right side there are all the positive numbers, and on the left side there are all the negative numbers. So those negative numbers are called negative integers. Actually what are they means how we can means actually they are started from minus n and they are continued till minus 1. Now in this set, minus 1 is the greatest one, then minus 2 is means less, the value is lesser than it, then continue it to minus n. Okay, the next is integers. We know integers, we studied in class 6. So integers are the combination of all the negative values and the positive values of natural numbers including 0. The same thing is written here. Integers are combined of negative integers and the whole numbers. And in the previous slide I told you that you saw that the integers are comprised of the natural numbers and the negative values of the natural numbers and 0. The same thing is there. Whole numbers means 0 natural numbers, and here I said the negative integers and whole numbers, actually both are same. So these integers are denoted by z, and integers are made up of the negative values of natural numbers 0 and the positive values of natural number. And there is a big question that whether 0 is positive or negative, because many of the students get confused in the exam that whether 0 is negative or positive. So let me clear this. 0 is neither positive nor negative. 0 is neutral. Okay, now comes the fraction. Fraction are the part of a whole number. The part means 1 by 2, 2 by 3. Like I say, one part of a cake means if we cut a cake into 5 slices, means 5 pieces, then if we take one piece from that, then we can say that we have taken one part out of the 5 parts. So that can be represented as 1 by 5. Okay, so those are fractions, and fractions can be classified into mixed fraction, proper fractions and all, but these are not important, means these are important in class 9 and 10 and all, but those were taught in class 3, 4 and also I am not going to teach you those things. So now comes the rational numbers. So what are rational numbers? The rational numbers are the numbers which can be expressed in a form of p by q, where p and q are co-prime and q is not equal to 0. So now what is a co-prime? So now let me explain this. Co-prime means the numbers which don't have a common factor other than 1. So those numbers can be prime numbers or they can be composite numbers, but they must not have a common factor other than 1. The numbers which have only one factor in common, that is 1, so those numbers are called co-prime numbers. So the numbers which can be represented in the fraction form, that is p by q, where the numerator and the denominator are co-prime, that means they don't have any other factor other than 1 and the q is not equal to 0. So those numbers are called rational numbers. Now why the q is not equal to 0? Now see, when you will put q equals to 0, then the denominator in the fraction will become 0, and when we say that the denominator is 0 in the fraction, it is undefined. So if it is undefined, then how can it be a number? So that is why the q must not be 0, and the p and q must be co-prime. Now let's see the next number. It's irrational number. The numbers which cannot be expressed in the form of p by q are called irrational numbers. That means the numbers which are not rational, those are irrational numbers. Means the numbers like root 2, root 7, root 3 and root 29, means those numbers which are not perfect squares or perfect cubes, or means a fourth root, you cannot solve the fourth root of 29, right? So for that reason, when you cannot solve and there is a power which is in fraction, so those numbers are called irrational numbers. Okay, then comes the real numbers. It's very simple. I told you the rational numbers and the irrational numbers come together and form the real numbers. So this is it. Okay, and then comes the decimal expansion of real numbers. Now here there are 3 terms, the most important terms, those must be remembered. What are those? Terminating, non-terminating and recurring. Terminating means the numbers that results in remainder 0 when divided. In other words, the decimal expansion that ends. Okay, now when you say I'm going to divide 5 by 2, now 5 is the dividend and 2 is the divisor. Now when we divide 5 by 2, the question comes 2 first, then it comes point, then 5. So after 5 the remainder comes 0 and you don't need to go on further because already the remainder came 0 and the question was ended. Now we cannot further expand the question. So those type of numbers which gets ended at a particular time, at a particular place, and those results in remainder 0 while dividing, so those numbers are called terminating numbers. That means they terminate after some digits. And then comes the non-terminating, and the numbers that never results in a means never result okay, this is written wrong, that results in a non-zero integer, sorry, non-zero number. So those numbers are called non-terminating. That means the number that means whose question never gets ended. So now, like pi, you all know about pi. It is the ratio of circumference in the diameter. Now what is the value of pi? We write it as 22/7, or when we divide it comes 3.1457, something like that. Now when you divide 22/7, it will never end. So those type of numbers which will never end, so those type of numbers are called non-terminating numbers. And one more type is there, recurring, and recurring means repeating. Now when you divide 22/7, the number comes 3.142857, something like that. Then it gets repeated 3.142857, 3.142857. So the set 142857, that gets repeated. So those repetition is means the set is getting repeated, and when the set is getting repeated, that is called recurring number. Okay. And if we want to know that whether a number is terminating or not, then we have to see the value of the q first. Q means the denominator. If the denominator can be expressed in the form of 2 to the power m into 5 to the power n, that means the denominator must have the factors only 2 and 5. If any other prime factors come in the denominator, then it will be non-terminating. Okay, see, x to the power m into x to the power n. Now m and n are the powers of x. Here the base is common. The base is x. It is common in both the number, means both the terms, but the powers are different. In the left side, the power of the x is m. On the right side, it is n. So what we do then, when there is multiplication sign in between two terms and the base is common but the power is not common, then we take the base is common and we add the powers. When there is multiplication, we add the powers. Okay. And in the next question, again the base is common, the powers are not common, but there is division sign. When it was multiplication sign, we added, but when there is the division sign, we subtracted. The same thing happened, x to the power m minus n. We took the base common and we subtracted the powers. Okay. The next comes x to the power m bracket x to the power n. So what does it mean? That means x to the power m. Now the whole is means getting powered by n. So in this case, we multiply the powers, x to the power m into n. That thing happens. Then comes x to the power minus n. Now here you can see the power is negative. In all the other cases above, the power was positive, but here it is negative. So what do we do now? In order to make the power positive, we reciprocate the base. So what did we do? 1 by x to the power n. 1 by x is the reciprocal of x, and the power was converted into positive from negative. Okay. Now x to the power m into y to the power m. Now here you can see the bases are not common. There is a multiplication sign in between two terms, but the bases are not common, but the powers are common. So we took the power common and we multiplied the base. Previously we took the base common and we added the powers. Here we are not going to add the powers. Here we are going to multiply but the bases, not the powers. Okay. And in the next one, x to the power m divided by y to the power m. Now again the powers are common, bases are not common. So we took the power common and we divided the base. Okay, x divided by y was there, so we did the same thing, x divided by whole to the power m. Okay, now comes x divided by y whole to the power minus m, here minus n. Here the power is negative, and when there is negative we have to make it positive, and to make it positive we reciprocal the base. What was the base? X divided by y, so we reciprocal it became y divided by x. Okay, let's have a quick revision. On the first, there was a flow chart that was representing the set of real numbers. How they are made? Real numbers are made from rational numbers and irrational numbers, and irrational numbers are not categorized, or they are not made from any other type of numbers, but the real numbers are made, they are made from fraction and integers, and integers are made up of negative integers and the whole numbers, and the whole numbers are made from 0 and natural numbers. So what are natural numbers? All the counting numbers, they are denoted by n. Then comes whole numbers, they are also the counting numbers but they include 0 and they are denoted by w. Then comes the negative integers, the negative values of all the natural numbers are called negative integers. Okay, and they are represented on the left side of the on the number line, the left side of 0. Okay. Then comes the integer. Integer are the combination of negative values of natural numbers, positive values of natural numbers, and 0. And what is 0? 0 is neither positive nor negative. And integers are represented by z. Then fractions are a part of the whole. Then rational numbers, those numbers which can be expressed in the form of p by q, where p and q are co-prime and q is not equal to 0, those are called rational numbers, and the ones which are not rational are called irrational numbers. Then the set of rational number and irrational number are called real numbers. Now those decimal expansion points are terminating, non-terminating, recurring. Terminating means ending, non-terminating means never ending, recurring means repeating. Now see the most important thing here, the rational numbers can be terminating or they can be non-terminating, but when they are non-terminating they are not means okay, they are recurring. But when we talk about irrational numbers are non-terminating and non-recurring. Okay, next come the laws of exponents, you can see here. So with this, today we are ending the session, and we will go through the NCERT part, NCERT question and answers of all the exercises, but for today this much. Okay, thank you.